Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. So just waiting for some people to come online. I know people are rushing home from work, so I'll just wait a few minutes. You guys can listen to some music while we wait for everyone to come online. So I wanted to talk to you about 5 reasons why your serviced accommodation business is likely to fail. Gov, hope you are doing well. Ayush, hope you are doing well. Mr. Gov. Kabir, hope you are doing incredibly well. So we're just waiting for a few more people to come online. I want to give you guys the gospel truth. We know it's the property preacher up in this. So I'm just going to tell you guys 10 reasons why your property business, why your service accommodation business is probably going to fail. So look, the truth is, I ain't trying to scare you guys. I'm trying to give you the real. I'm trying to tell you exactly what's going to happen if you don't listen up and if you don't take the advice. Yes, can you hear the music in the background? Gov says banger in the background. Let me turn it up for you guys. Let's go. Hey! Doris, hope you are doing incredibly well. Anna, thank you so much for logging in. I want to talk to you guys about 5 different reasons why your serviced accommodation business is likely to fail. Sarah Miller, thanks for logging on as well. 5 different reasons. There are 5 things that many people don't consider as to what they need to do or what they should have done before they get started in serviced accommodation. So I'm going to be breaking down 5 different reasons why people struggle in their serviced accommodation and 5 reasons why you are likely to fail in serviced accommodation. Char, hope you are doing incredibly well. Gov, let's go. Fire in the booth, baby. Brad, hope you're doing well. I'm happy there's a number of people coming online. So for the guys who are brand new, for the guys who we're not here at the beginning, I'm going to be talking about 5 things. Just 5 things you've got to get straight before you start your service accommodation business. Otherwise, you're going to be like many other people who have been casualties of serviced accommodation. Before I say anything, service accommodation is an incredible model, and it will change your life if you take the right steps, if you do the right things. But you've got to listen up carefully. Don't just dive in head first. Know what the heck you are doing. I always give the same example all the time. Nobody starts a Tesco supermarket. No one starts a Morrison. No one starts a bloody Waitrose without going through the management program, without understanding how the business is run. So let's go straight into 5 different reasons why people struggle and 5 different reasons why you are likely to fail in your serviced accommodation business. Let's go with number 1. Number 1, your numbers are way off. Your numbers are off. A lot of people jump into service accommodation because they've heard these headline figures. They've heard you can make £5,000, £6,000, £7,000 per month from a unit. But the fact is your figures are probably off. If one figure is off in terms of your calculations, in terms of your analysis, you are going to struggle. If you've got the wrong figure right from the beginning, it means the entire business could collapse at any moment. Because if you factored things based on generating £2,000 a month, and in reality the figures are really £500 a month, if you've got a JV partner, if you've taken a loan, if you've had to borrow money from somewhere, if you factored your life around £2,000 a month, but the figures are wrong, then guess what? The entire foundation is going to crumble. So again, number 1, make sure the figures are done properly. Make sure you're looking at worst case scenario. And if you're looking at it from a worst case scenario, if the deal still works at that moment, then you've got yourself a deal. Kabir's correct. Most people think it's an easy road. It's totally the opposite because you are running a business. Service accommodation, I can't emphasize, is a full-fledged business. So number 1, you don't start a business unless you know the numbers. So what you've got to do is do your worst case scenario numbers and do your likely case scenario numbers and then go with the worst case. So base things on 40, 50, 60% occupancy, whatever the figures say, but don't just dive in first because the headline figures look attractive. That will cause you to fail. And if that's done wrong from the beginning, then guess what, guys? The entire structure, the entire model is going down the pan. So, number 1. Number 2, no support. No support. You don't have anyone to run ideas past. You don't have a mentor. You don't have a trainer. You don't have a community. You don't have anyone that you're accountable to. So you're doing it all by yourself. Now, that's one of the reasons many people fail, because you don't have the opportunity to actually run ideas past people. So get yourself some accountability. Get yourself in a group of people. Get yourself a mentor. Get someone you can run your ideas past. Because think about it, when you're building any other type of business, you always have a soundboard. You always have people that you can go back to, run ideas past, run concepts past, talk to them about what's going on in the business, what you can do, what they can do, and how you can actually build the business. So remember, number one is you've got the numbers wrong. Number two, you don't have a support system. You don't know who you can turn to, who you can build with, and who can advise you. Number three, you jumped into service accommodation because you thought it was passive. So again, I want to scream this from the top of my voice. Service accommodation is one of the least passive strategies you are ever going to come across. It's so far from passive unless it's being managed by someone else. But if you're running a service accommodation business yourself, then it's far from passive. And secondly, if you're running it with a management company, it's also far from passive, because what you've got to do is sit on top of your management company to ensure that they are doing the work correctly. So jump out of this idea that passive income is your savior. The reality is hard work, smart work, understanding your business and being in your business and growing your business is the only way that you can create financial freedom and create success for yourself. Kabir says, I've seen a lot of people who just don't take action no matter how far you push them. And that's many people. There are going to be many people who dream about getting into service accommodation. There are going to be many people that say, hey, I want to change my life. But the reality is, do they really want to change their lives? Number four, I think. So number one is your numbers are way off. Number two, you have no support. Number three, you think it's passive. Therefore, you're not actively involved in building your business or actively looking for ways to build your business. Big mistake. Number four, logistics. Are you going to do the cleaning yourself? Is your cleaner going to handle the cleaning? Listen, with regards to service accommodation, cleaners are the hardest part of this business. So what you've got to do is take time out to find either a cleaning company or get yourself a cleaner or do the cleaning yourself. This is one of the reasons people fail, because it's hard to come by a cleaner that understands the model and that's deeply involved in making sure that unit succeeds. So I suggest you build a team, you nurture the team, and you incentivize your team. But so many people struggle with the idea of getting a cleaner that really buys into what you are trying to offer. That's why people fail in service accommodation. The other one I was going to say is they don't understand the cost of actually running the business. So they don't factor in the cost of cleaning. They don't factor in Booking.com's 15%. They don't factor in VAT. They don't factor in corporation tax. They don't factor the true cost of running the business, because they believe it to be some sort of strategy, and therefore they dive in head first. What I'm trying to say is service accommodation is a game changer. Service accommodation can make you rich. Service accommodation can change your life. But before it can do that, you've got to know that it's a business, and you've got to put these 5 things in place. Start with your numbers. Double down on your numbers. Make sure the numbers are correct. Make sure your numbers are realistic numbers. Make sure your numbers are achievable based on using credible references. Number 2, understand the cost of running a business. Understand that there are costs associated with building this business, of running the business, and you've got to knuckle down and nail these down. And number 3, get yourself some support. Find out who else is in the business and get them to help you as well. Get yourself a trainer, get yourself a coach, get yourself a mentor, get someone who understands the business that can guide you. Because if you're doing all of this stuff yourself, then when you hit a brick wall, who are you going to speak to? Who are you going to ask? Number 5, it's so far from passive. I can't shout this enough. It's not passive, it's far from passive, and it's never going to be passive. And then get your cleaners in check. Get what you guys call it, your power team. I hate that word, but realistically, get your power team on board. Incentivize your power team. My question is, for the people who are running service accommodation right now, how do you incentivize your power team? How do you ensure that they respond when you need them to respond? How do you ensure your cleaners turn up on time? How do you ensure your cleaners clean up under the bed? How do you ensure that they are part of the business? These are things you've got to take into consideration. Otherwise, the entire thing comes crumbling down. So I just wanted to do that very quickly, because I was just talking to someone else about why their business is failing, and we ironed out that these are some of the things that they're not paying attention to, and they are leaking. They are leaking money. So again, guys, I'll catch you soon. Have a phenomenal evening. Bye-bye.